I know what I didn't do. All right, we got time. Hey everyone.
Hi, everybody. Wow. We're off to a
Welcome.
bang.
I see
Welcome.
people are already coming in, and you know what? I've been writing down names already in order.
So, welcome to TFT Tarot for Today.
Divine Dabblings with
Oberon,
and me, Banshee.
hello.
Welcome.
And we are in the Halloween spirit, of course,
Ho
here.
ho. Oh, wait a minute, that's a different holiday.
I
Boo hoo.
I can't actually stand up because of my apparatus, but
I
trust
can.
me. Oh, there we go. See?
And I have my, excuse me, my vampire shirt today. Appropriate with our cats. Hello to Kirsty, J, LS, and Esoterics. Welcome. And we've been very busy this weekend. It's been a crazy weekend for us because we've got a lot of things. We're planning for Halloween, so we're trying to get all of that in order. We're going to be live streaming for 3 whole hours on Halloween. Now, I know some of you might be busy that night, obviously. Maybe you'll be catching the video of our stream. But for those of you who can make it here and there, of course, we'll be doing readings. We do have some content planned and some little surprises here and there. And not to mention what else is happening Halloween, Oberon.
Are you talking about my card meditation?
Yes.
Yes, I will be doing a card meditation on Halloween. I've actually been working on it really hard and I've had some ups and downs with it, so I hope it all works out in the end. Ha ha ha. But I will be hoping to broadcast that as a taped extra video at approximately 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Halloween night. So that'll be after our live cast.
But what's happening earlier Halloween day?
Ah, what indeed.
We've already been promoting this on our Facebook and our Twitter pages, who we have been subjecting to our Halloween haiku for the last days of the month. Well, actually, we've got a haiku for 31 days, and there is our promo on screen now. We are going to be creating a dramatic reading for you all of our Halloween haiku. So we hope you'll catch that video. It will, I'm not exactly sure what time of day we're going to do it, but it might be early in the day that we release that one. We are off that day, and we have
That's
a long
probably going to be in the
weekend.
morning,
Yeah.
9-ish, 10-ish on Eastern Standard Time. We'll probably set it off to go off, and we'll just see how that goes. Hi, Smiling Soul. I see you've joined us, too.
Welcome, Smiling Soul. Welcome. And everybody, welcome, Smiling Soul. She's had a little bit of illness going on right now, so we've been sending her some energy.
And we'd like to ask if anybody else would like to do that, too. Feel free to do that.
Yep. She's been a really great part of our chats, and she loves chatting it up with everybody in the room. So we're glad you made it, Smiling Soul. Hey, Khalil. Oh, my goodness. Welcome. Great to see you here as well.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up. This is so nice.
Now, people not familiar with Khalil, he and Esoterics, for example, and Smiling Soul, geez, these are people from Twitter that I've been communicating with, and Khalil posts some really fantastic tarot readings every day, which I really appreciate, and I've gotten a lot out of. And I've gone to some of Esoteric's videos on YouTube as well, so check people out. I've been meeting lots of great people on Twitter and you on Facebook, so it's been going really well.
All right, so how are we going to start off today?
Well, the first thing I want to do is just chat up a couple things with you that I've brought out. And I will say today, I had promised some people that I was going to bring back my reincarnation cards, and I have. And so I'm just going to show them off briefly and say, we're going to take these readings in order, but if you would like us to do a reincarnation reading instead of any other kind of reading, we will do that for you today. So what I do want to do is just show them very briefly. Here is the book. This came out a ways back, I believe. I think it was in the 1990s. Let me just get that right. Oh, no, actually, I take that back. This was 2007. I think it was one of my previous reincarnation decks. But it's called Awakening Far Memory Reincarnation Cards. And it's cleverly set up so that you have, how should I say this? Oh, you can put that down now. How should I say this? There are decks within decks here. So basically there are sub decks that talk about the different aspects of your past lives. That's why I say it's very cleverly constructed. And what I did for when I do readings or take these to group parties, etc., I made a little cheat sheet for myself with all the various card decks on here so people could write down, for example, what culture card they pulled, what environment card they pulled, what occupation card they pulled, what theme card they pulled, and what termination card they pulled, meaning how did you die? Yes, this actually will tell you that. And so basically, that's what we'll do. I'm going to have these cards on the side and I will be able to pull them for you and just chat briefly. We can do a little brief thing about what this life might have been like for you. And also for people who are on Facebook and Twitter seeing us there, and as a added incentive for those of you who are not to maybe check us out on Facebook and Twitter, I will be posting soon my I've Been Here Before past life spread that I created. Do you want to show that? And so basically, this is another way to do past life readings with whatever oracle that you use, or perhaps, with the tarot. I designed it for the tarot, but I think it could be used with most anything. And I think I'm going to demonstrate this one on Halloween. I'm not going to work with it as much today, but I want to let you know I will be posting the spread so others can use it in their work.
And I think you need to update the list.
Okay, let's see who we've got. We've got Renosa's back. Hi, Renosa.
Hi, Renosa.
Have you ever tried this deck for your own current life, just to see how accurate it could be? Well, I have not thought of doing it for current life because it is about past lives, and that is an interesting point. And I don't know, when you think about it, there are no eras on here per se, but there are cultures. So it could be possibly done for present life today as well. I may play with that sometime, LS. Thanks for that thought. Oh, I see Mimi is here as well. Welcome back, Mimi.
Welcome back.
Another thing I wanted to point out, this is not a past life reading, but it's very Halloween-y. And on Halloween Day, if people would like me to do so, I will pick a card from Colette Baron Reed's deck, Postcards from Spirit. Now, this is a very interesting way of tapping into who from the spirit realm might have a message for you. It won't say who, but you might recognize the who from the type of message you get. And also, just keep in mind, it's supposed to be a message from spirit. And yes, the cards actually look like postcards, and they look kind of ethereal, like you are in fact getting a message from beyond. I love this deck. Every time I pick a card out of here, there's something resonant for me in this deck. And finally, one last thing, I promise. I will be pulling a card today for all of us, and I think I'm going to do that right now from something called the Halloween Oracle. So it's Halloween time, and I found my Halloween Oracle cards by Stacy DeMarco. They are a U.S. Games deck, and let me just show a few of the cards, and then I'm going to shuffle them, and I'll pull one to see what our focus might be.
So we're going to do that right now?
Yes.
You want me to
show a couple of the cards first.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're very nice and very, very seasonal.
Apple. Ancestors.
Somebody likes, is it my hair or Oberon's hair?
Can't be mine.
Or neither.
Eternal love.
Could be my kitty's hair.
His hair always
I
looks
actually
wonderful.
have showered late
It is
today.
pretty.
I was going to take a bath, but I changed my mind and showered, and it takes my hair a long time to dry.
I guess it's yours.
It's mine? Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's possible because it's not dry yet. It's behaving and staying in place better.
Oh, dear, I don't want to go there.
Do you want to shuffle a few
Alrighty,
times?
so
And
we're
then
gonna do
I'm just going to pick a card from the middle, and I will look at the interpretation a little bit and see what we've got. This will be like a reading for all of us during this Halloween week ahead.
Thank you, Khalil. I wish I had more of it because it is a little thinning on top. I'm actually thinking of getting it cut soon, so we'll see.
So let me see here. So I draw one of these. Oh, you spent a little time here recently, and we will be spending time during the Halloween season visiting our ancestors at the graveyard. I have none. Well, hey, Bald is beautiful, they say, Khalil.
Hair today, gone
Gone
tomorrow.
tomorrow. So, with the graveyard, there's a slight little poem in the beginning. The stones, they mark the eternal resting place. Yet the spirits, they are walking, and they are ready for the chase. Today's modern graveyards are restful places, normally highly manicured and very well set out. Whilst they can be places of profound sadness, few are the creepy Gothic places of old, yet they
Thank
still
you.
hold an undercurrent of fear and seem like frightening places. So I'm going to just read the interpretation of the card, and it basically says pull this card and know that you fear unnecessarily. Boy, I need this message right now. Something going on in my life. Things are not as they seem, and you can overcome your obstacles. The anxieties that you have, although real, should be put aside before they haunt you long term. Instead, trust that you know the correct next steps and that you will act upon them.
Well, and just speaking of Samhain in
Yes,
general, Samhain is more or less considered for some folks the new year, and so it sort of resonates with the idea that we can leave the past behind, or we can try to, say, let's step into our new year.
indeed. Absolutely. So that's this deck, and I will be bringing this out Halloween. Today, we're going to focus on either our regular readings or the past life deck that we have here and see what we get. And also, remember, I will be adding Lenormand cards to our tarot spreads today. One other final note, if I can find it here. Yeah, this was very freaky today. We happen to be looking in a bin of stuff upstairs, and Oberon says to me, "What's this?" And he pointed out a lot of what we call in the cat what from my former Catholic faith holy cards, and they are inscribed on the backs with the names of deceased relatives in my family. All of them were. And I seem to remember that I may have taken it to a former Samhain rite where we were honoring the dead and bringing up family members and raising a glass and a toast for them. And so to see these today just really sent chills up my spine. My father's mother, who died many years ago in 1980, it just kind of was like reminding me that they are all still here with me, and that I do need to honor them during this season. And we are going to do some honoring on Halloween, are we not?
That's correct. We've actually been doing this on our own for a number of years, which is that usually the day after Halloween, it's almost always the day after, but occasionally it's the following day. We will actually go to the area cemeteries or graveyards in our area, Detroit area, and visit some of the grave sides of those deceased relatives. I have at least four grandparents and a number of aunts or uncles in the area, and we try to squeeze those in. You have far more. You have 6, 7, 8 uncles and aunts.
My family is just about entirely gone now. They're there waiting for me. Well, hopefully I'll have a lot more time here, but I know they're there and they're with me. Most recently, last December, I lost my brother. And so I'm still reeling from that a little bit. And so that's going to be weighing a little bit on my heart this Halloween. But because he died on December 30th of last year. So
And I think we were inspired a little bit because of our own beliefs in Samhain, but also because in the Catholic tradition that we were both brought up in, the day or two following Halloween is called All Souls Day,
and All Saints Day.
and it is a remembrance of those folks and things like that. But of course, it is interesting to note that in Mexican culture, it's known as Day of the Dead, Dios los Muertes, and they also will do such things as visit the graveside and sometimes bring flowers or candy or gifts, and maybe it's a picnic. And we just wanted to say that because we do that in honor to that thing, and we're not trying to culturally appropriate that. Although I think, sometimes the way we've explained it, it might look that way, like we're just doing that. But really, it did come from our own sincerity about our own beliefs about this time, because we do believe that that veil between the worlds is incredibly thin. And so it is a good time for communication.
Yes, it is. And for me and him as well, we've lost some key family members around this time of year. So it is kind of poignant and meaningful.
Indeed.
One
Well, we
other,
better get
we
going.
are going to get going. One other thing I'd like to add is today, what decks are you using, Mr. O?
Okay, I have decided to use the Vampire Tarot.
Uh-oh.
Um,
The Vampire Tarot?
no, it's a Vampire Tarot. It came out around 2000, and of course, one of my friends said, "It's fabulous, you'll love it." And I hadn't really read from it too much. I sort of thought I didn't really care for it that much. But lately, I have been feeling more of an affinity. I'm also going to use my Dame Fortune Tarot too for some of
Okay.
the readings.
And I'm going to be switching between what I used last time, the Halloween Tarot, which is very whimsical. And we also just uncovered a deck that I thought I would use today. I like the muted tones on it. It's kind of falsy in its own way. It's called the Fenestra Tarot. And so if you just want to hold up a couple of those cards. This one, I believe, is also a U.S. Games deck. And I think I have a card with the information on it there that I should probably pull out before I shuffle it in there. And, oh, maybe it got in there already. That would be bad. No, here it is. There we go. The Fenestra Tarot is by Kshatriya Hembaranvibul. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. And it is a U.S. Games deck that came out in 2006. So, on with the show. And I did write down names in order. I don't know if anybody's come since, but what I have is Kirsty, J, LS, ET, Khalil, Renosa, and Mimi. So who would like to start out with the reading? Kirsty, well, you're first, so if you would like a reading.
I'm going to show our schedule for a moment while
Yeah.
I make an adjustment or two here.
And just let us know if you would like a past life reading or a regular, one of our 3-card spreads that we do about any particular question you may have. Take care, Smiling Soul. We'll be thinking about you.
Yeah, sorry we couldn't get to you a little sooner.
Well, and she might drop back in later, so if so, we'll keep her in mind. Okay, so let's see. Did Christy get back? Christy, I'm double checking with you one more time, or I'll move to the next person on our list, and we'll continue on. But if you do have a specific question, type it in now, or just let us know if you'd like a past life reading instead.
I'm going to attempt to move this one camera over here because
Okay.
it's not working for me, so I'm going to just have
Oh.
to try to adeptly move it a little
Yeah,
bit.
you used to have that there anyway, so I think that
I'm
might
not
work
sure
better
why
for
I
you.
did that, but I think that'll work better now.
Jay Walker, I have you on the list. As a matter of fact, you're next if Christy doesn't chime in, so just give us a minute. It's good to see you again as well.
Khalil would like a past life reading.
Okay, and Khalil, you are a little bit further down the list, but we'll see how it goes, because as people move on.
For some reason, I'm not seeing how many people are in the chat, so I have a feeling that Kirsty probably did leave.
I see that there are 10 in the chat, but that's including us, though. So, and it might also include our backup moderator if he's out there, Monster Hunter.
Let's go ahead and do Jay.
Yes, Jay.
All right.
Why don't we go ahead with you? Do you have a question for us? And I am going to move
Let's
my...
start shuffling then.
Yeah, oh yeah, you want to use... Let's use those. We'll use my Fenestra Tarot first.
And what does 2020 hold for Mr. Walker?
All right. Well, let me see and take a look at my 3-card readings that I have. I know I have some on time and timing here. Okay, so basically we're going to look at the next year in terms of every 3 months. So the first card will be the first 3 months. The next card will be the next 3 months. And then the last card will be like the final 3 months, but also we'll draw one more card for an overview for the year. We'll make it a 4-card.
Well, each card is for 4 months then.
We'll make it 3. Oh, yeah, duh. I can't count today. Sorry about
I
that.
am not going there.
That is funny. Well, it's Sunday, and I want to say my brain can shut off today, but since we're doing this, no, my brain should not shut off. All right. Okay, Jay, we're going to see. So it's 4, 8, and 12 months, and then a focus card for you.
And you're going to cut?
And actually, you know what? I think the focus cards are going to be the Lenormand. We're going to do it that way.
All right.
Okay. Yes, and I'm going to cut. All right. Let's see what we have. Let's see what's in store for Jay.
So first cut is January through April.
Yes. That is the Seven of Wands reversed. So January through April might bring some fast-moving, maybe changes, things that happen that you're not quite ready for. You might feel like that kind of caught you by surprise maybe a little bit. You're going to have a hard time standing your ground. Maybe you're going to have to fight for something that you believe in during this time, and you will be, feeling like you don't really have an advantage. You're going to feel a little disadvantaged.
I see ups and downs, and I'm thinking of that expression about being giving as good as one gets. That kind of thing. Like, it's going to be like about half and half. Like, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, you're going to give your best in some, somebody's going to do their best on others. It does seem to be related more to enterprise, so it may be
Yes.
affecting you in your career areas.
Okay, and the second card is May through, that would be
July.
May through
Or June. No, wait.
August. May through August, and then September to December.
Who suggested this?
Who counts? Who can't
And
count?
oh dear, so
What do we get?
on this one we have the Five of Pentacles. No, it's the Four.
No, it's the
Whoops.
4.
Excuse me.
I look at the arms and the way they're holding them tightly.
And so this says to me, what I'm feeling there is that you're going to be paying more attention to how you accumulate and save money. It won't necessarily be because you need money, though there is that possibility that you're going to be trying to cling to your financial areas a little tighter, maybe you're looking at the bill outlay kind of thing. But I do feel more possibly is just that you're going to feel maybe more compulsive about how you're going to save money. You're going to be, planning basically.
Well, and I would say, Jay, that this card following after the previous card kind of gives me a clue that maybe this is relating to some changes that affects you financially, that, maybe it's some real major repairs, or suddenly you have to purchase some big ticket item like a new car, that's going to really make you reevaluate, how you're managing your finances from from May through August.
Well, if I was going to draw a connection between the first and the second card, I might think that what this indicates is that you're going to be thinking about planning for other education or other things that are going to enhance either your career. Maybe you need to, try to work on your wardrobe, or maybe you need to just work on some finesse somewhere, or maybe you actually are thinking of studying for something else to move into a different career or a different aspect of your career.
Okay, and so this is September to December.
Right. Oh, this is a little better.
Hooray.
This is definitely kind
Hurrah,
of
hurrah.
interesting card. I get the feeling like there's some happy times about a year from now, from September to December. Do you want to say anything?
Yes, this could be, I feel, in the emotional realm of your life. This could have to do with relationships, partnerships, or family things. Something that's going to bring you great joy and happiness, a cause for celebration. It could be a wedding, a birth, something like that in the family.
Well, I think that it could mean that, but too, I remember talking with Jay in the past before, and you were relationship minded, you were wondering about that. So I'm thinking about a year from now, some things are going to really have picked up in the relationship department. You may have already, begun that encounter, and I'm thinking that maybe this pertains more to you, and this suggests that you're tightening those bonds, or you're realizing, there's something there that you really want, to keep with.
And today I'm using the Celtic Lenormand Oracle by Caitlin Matthews for the Lenormand cards. And I'm going to draw a pair to see what we have. I usually draw one from the top and one from the bottom. Well, I think the focus for the year is, interesting. You've got the letter and you've got personal empowerment. Now, the letter, usually is written communications and stuff. So this could be, empowering yourself through writing in some way, through communications in that regard. Social media in a way is a form of that. It's the new way of sending letters. So, I mean, that may be where you find some of your empowerment. Although, beware, as we all know, it can be a jungle out there. And so, what do you see? Because you go ahead.
I'm thinking that this is a specific thing that I'm feeling. I'm thinking you're going to begin a correspondence with somebody who maybe will start off friendly with you, and that this friendship, and maybe it's intended, will become something better known and will provide a number of opportunities. Maybe it will be an opportunity to begin a relationship, but it could also mean an opportunity for enhancements to your career or enhancements to your social roles.
I would also say that if you are working or do anything with communications, that's where you're going to get your power from this year. So that's another possibility here as well. Or if you're studying something in that regard.
Very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
I
right.
hope that's given you a good outlook for the year ahead, Jay. And we're going to go on
Thank you
to
for
our
joining
next
us.
reading. And that would be LS.
LS, it's your turn. What's up? We missed you last time. We were
Yes, we
wondering
did.
where you were. We figured, it's probably that time difference. You're very welcome, Jay.
And you are so welcome, Jay. Glad you joined us again. Stay tuned for more of Halloween and next weekend.
Hello.
So do you have a reading or a spread you'd like us to do for you today? If you want us to do the past life, we could do it today. We'll also have them on Halloween if you want to wait till then. Oh, no. Well, this time of year, I tend to get very nappy myself. I want to take naps at different times. And usually I'm really good about not needing a nap during the days. But for some reason, when
But
the
I'm
darkness
also
hits,
thinking, too, that with Ellis and maybe somebody else in our room today, that you guys are at a significant time variance from us, especially effective at this point because it's right in the early afternoon over here in the States. Eastern Standard Time is pretty much as early as it starts. So I'm thinking like maybe this is either literally the corollary time on the opposite side of the world or close enough to where it's a little bit of a sacrifice.
Yes.
So we appreciate that.
So,
Thank
LS,
you.
do you have a question in mind or anything in particular, or do you want us
LS
to
says
move?
they're curious about the reincarnation deck.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So you're actually not a whole lot later, Khalil. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see. Well, a bit, but still, that's a reasonable hour compared to, it being midnight somewhere in the world.
Yes. Okay, so you're going to do the reincarnation for Ellis?
I am going to do
All right.
that.
Is
So
that
I
here?
have them right here. And I have the deck separated for easy access.
So what do we need to do?
So what we need to do is just lay them out in order. I have them right there. And what we need to do is just, you could ruffle them a little bit and pick one out from the center.
Do I go from left to right or right to
I
left?
tell you what, I'm going to shuffle each one of these and you can shuffle and pull. You want to do it there and then I'll pull from that end. Let's shuffle them and meet in the middle. This is new and we are a team, so we're trying to find our rhythm here.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is you can start from that end and just like go through here and draw a card for LS. LS is past life in mind. I've got one here. Okay. Put it on top of the pile for now.
Right. Well, I used to have a friend, he's been gone many years now, but he used to say It's always morning somewhere in the world. And I guess that's the same with 9 p.m. or
It's
8:20
true.
or 1:30, 2:30. So it's
Well,
always at somewhere in the world.
this is going to be very interesting, LS, because from what I can tell, hang on one second, let me get my little cheat sheet here. The culture that you are from was a Celtic culture. You lived in a town or village, something, with more people. You were a member of the military, and your theme in this life was power. In a way, a very appropriate card. This might mean to me that you might have been maybe a general, some leader in the military. And how did they say you passed away?
Well, Ella says that I believe Ellis is referring to the power.
We'll talk in a minute, LS. You passed away via an accident, not by, let's say, well, an accident, in this day and age could be friendly fire, they call it, where somebody shoots their gun and hits the wrong side, their own side. So that could be that, but I get the feeling it could be some other type of accident.
I think Ellis is referring to the Celtic symbol.
Okay.
That's the symbol you've been seeing, or was it the lightning bolt?
I bet it's the Celtic symbol.
I think it is too.
Yeah,
because that
which
was
is
what
very
Ellis said
interesting.
first.
So
Yes.
maybe this is a resonant reading for you.
Go on.
I'm not going to go into what the book has to say. This is really fascinating. And someday, if we offer up longer readings for people, I could do research and go more in depth on these cards for you. But I would say that your past life had to do with a Celtic time. And I'm not going I don't have an era in mind. We would maybe...
it could be a very ancient era. It could be not so ancient.
I would, if I were
Hundreds of
you,
years.
LS, with the cards we're getting you here, if you write this stuff down, you should do some meditation on this and, try to hone in on when this life could have been for you. But it seems as though you were maybe part of a town or protecting a town or village. You were a member of the military, and since power was involved in some way, I see this as possibly twofold here, that you were in a position of authority in the military, or you were all about, making sure that the power in place maintained their power through, protecting them, right?
Well, that's what the military
Right.
is about, basically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, apparently it would connote the idea that maybe you were some sort of captain or something.
And what I would do for you, Ellis, is let me just look up the last card here, which is number 58, accident. I want to see what it says about your passing. Although this card depicts a person falling to his or her death from a high place, it's intended to stand for any death by accident involving the victim's violent collision with a concrete object. The episode may have been a collision with an automobile, a chariot, a horse, for example, if we're going back to ancient times, or any type of situation like that. Fatal injuries of this kind are primarily injuries to the spine or to the head. The death in transition can be very traumatic and sudden in these circumstances. So this could suggest that one of your projected personalities has undergone such an experience to which you are now resonating. Sudden violent transitions of this kind can often result in fears, such as fear of heights, or other things, that may be related to this accidental death that you had. So that's one of the reasons to look back at past lives, is sometimes they leave how should we say this, like an imprint, that affects your present life in some way. Like, for example, where does that fear of spiders come from, or, whatever in your life? Fear of failure, fear of high places, like this suggested. So I hope you found that very interesting, LS. And I know that Khalil wants one, and hopefully we'll be able to get to Khalil's. I think these cards are really fantastic. They're a load of fun.
Smiling Soul is back with us.
Hello, Smiling Soul. Hang with us. we're now into just the readings, so hopefully it's not going to get that deep and heavy anymore. Esoterics, are you still with us? And would you be interested in either a past life reading or a different type of reading? Be happy to read for you today. My cat is totally blocking me at the moment from seeing my chat screen. How's yours going?
I'm okay. I need to refresh possibly, so I'm going to put
I'm
this
gonna move
on
my cat's
the schedule for a moment. No, I'll put that on the Facebook thing because I'm going to go and refresh here because I have a feeling I'm not quite integrated here.
Maybe you fell down the stairs. Fear stairs. I'm very cautious myself downstairs, but I've already fallen down some, so that could be why.
Okay, that did what I needed it to do. So I am very cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to turn things back to where they were in a moment. I got my mojo back. I wasn't getting full access to the chat room, and I just needed to refresh that screen, and I was hoping it wouldn't boot me out totally, so I'm good.
All right, Smiling Soul, do you want Esoteric's place? You're also very polite in the chat. We really do appreciate that. We did have one day.
But there's not really a reward.
Well, you do get your readings. We do try to get everybody in.
I just wanted to say that.
Okay, but we appreciate that. We did have a troll one day, and that's bound to happen, you know. But
yeah, that was interesting having the troll. Yeah.
But almost everybody has been so gracious, and we really appreciate that.
So, Smiling Soul, if you don't want to, the place of esoterics, we can go ahead and ask esoterics for a reading. What reading? I think they said reincarnation, right?
I don't remember. Did you want a reincarnation esoterics? I think we'll move on to esoterics because Smiling Soul has not responded. And give it a few minutes. So, moving my stuff out of the way. I'm going to keep these here for the moment just in case. I'll move them up a little bit so we could read the other decks. And we'll have a little bit of space there. Leave those by you. Okay. And our cat is being very cooperative and not moving around a lot today. And while we're waiting for some answers here, I would just say that you never know where you will find divination help. I think I was at some kind of campus event, believe it or not, because I noticed this is blue and gold, and I'm not going to say what campus I am with, but this is their school colors for sure. And they basically are kind of like a Magic 8 Ball in a way. They have the same things in there that Magic 8 Ball has. So if I ask the question, should I play the lottery tonight? Let's see what I get. Well, I guess it says don't bet on it. Which maybe means I should not play the lottery tonight.
You have a question from Khalil?
Okay. I don't see it yet, but oh, my chat was way down there. Oh, I didn't see your response. I did see your response, but smiling hasn't come through. Which Leonard Man decks I like working with? I don't know if you're familiar with Cyril Marchetti, but I absolutely love his artwork, and I use a lot of his decks, and on the live streams, that's my preferred deck. But today, I am using the Caitlin Matthews deck. I also like there's a Fairy Tale Lenormand that I have as well that I enjoy using. And those are the main ones right now that I use the most, and besides the Caitlin Matthews deck. There's a lot of interesting resources. I won't say a lot, but there's a few nice, interesting resources I've gotten on the Lenormand. And I got a really cheap ebook online by, I believe it's Anthony Lewis, who did a real nice synopsis of the Lenormand and is really good for beginners as well as people who have used them for a while.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. So, really, the Cyril Marchetti ones, and I will be using them again, but I like to mix it up a little bit with the decks. Keeps me on my toes.
Well, let's get to another reading.
Yes. So, esoterics. I didn't get your response. If you have a response about a reading you want, Smiling Soul is not with us right now. So if you would like a reading, if not, I'm going to move on to Khalil. And I think I got my chats up to date here now. I don't know what happened there. It seemed like it wasn't moving up. It could be because my cat had his face on my screen.
Once in a blue moon, it seems like one of the responses doesn't register
Okay.
on any of our monitors,
Oh.
and we did miss one, or we missed one of them. One of the monitors doesn't get it. That happened. Uh,
So basically, also, Khalil, I am the Lenormand reader between the two of us. Oberon has not studied them, but he's using his intuition to answer the questions amazingly well. I knew he could gravitate to this like a fish in water, you know. So, and it works for me because I've often worked with regular deck playing cartomancy in the past. So it's like the next closest thing to what I learned from my family growing up. Okay,
Very good.
let's go back and see. Oh, hi, Renosa. You are after Khalil. Yes, you are, Renosa. Okay, there might be a delay, esoterics, but again, I don't see what your response is. Would you like a reading, a regular reading? Do you want to pass, or do you want a past life reading? There does seem to be a little bit of a delay. I'm not sure why. We do know that we're up for a upgrade of our equipment as far as our cable and our internet service
or
goes.
wireless, right?
So we are going to be doing that because I don't know if that's affecting things, but it's possible. So they've been letting me know, they've been giving me messages. I need to go in and replace my equipment. So I will be doing that soon. Do I prefer Lenormand to tarot? Well, that's a really good question, Khalil. I do. In a way, I do because it's real familiar ground for me. Even though the Lenormand is something I've started reading later in life, it just seems like it's home to me, like my old deck of, and it's very sort of gypsy fortune telling style, which is what my Catholic family used to do back in the day. You know, they wanted to know the real nitty gritty of life, like who's going to die, somebody going to have a baby. I mean, they really wanted to know those facts of life. These were the things that were important to them. And those cards, besides touching on broader and more spiritual things, really do hone in on those kind of issues. I think sometimes even a little bit more, a little bit better than the tarot. But I'll tell you what, I love tarot. I absolutely love tarot as well.
Well, it's a good thing you said that, Banshee, because I thought I would have to put out an ad for a new partner for Tarot for Today if you were making the move to Lenormand. So good,
No.
I don't have to do that. And Esoterics apparently is having problems with some of their responses coming through here.
Okay.
So that's a little odd.
I'll tell you what, esoterics, we're going to see if we can straighten that out, or if you can straighten that out. Maybe come back, go out and come back in, see if that works. And we're going to move on with Khalil right now, and I will fit you back into the position, you know, after Khalil, because we want to keep it moving and make sure everybody gets a reading today. So Khalil, are you interested in the past life?
I thought they wanted reincarnation.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move this back out. And I'm going to let you,
Do mine again?
yes. And I'm just going to just kind of ruffle them a little bit, but we're really going to pick wherever our hands lead us. It'll be interesting if we pull the same cards here. I'm sure some of them might be the same. You will see that some of the decks are larger than others. I do think one of the shortcomings of this deck is maybe certain of the categories could have had a little bit of better coverage, but I think this is just an awesomely designed deck. I do have another deck, which I haven't been able to find, called the Phoenix cards, which I used to use before this one came out. And I like them a lot, but again, that deck too had a few shortcomings to it. This one I really enjoy much better. I don't know if that's good English, but... Oh, you're poor. Okay, let me get that one too. Whoa, Khalil, we're sending you a little ways back in time, perhaps. 1 second. Interesting. I think you're going to find this fascinating. it looks as though we're taking you back to the era of the Dark Ages.
Now, we had a conversation about this too because we realized that a lot of the cards seem to have a Euro kind of focus, and what was the Dark Ages in Europe was not necessarily the Dark Ages in parts of Asia or other parts of the world. But so we did sort of more or less decide it was that time realm, even if it doesn't apply in
Right.
terms of where.
Because it doesn't give specific locations. I mean, with Celtic, you might get obviously the location of the British Isles, etc., where the Celtic influences were. But with certain cards here, you may not exactly be able to pinpoint it. This has a more Asian or island kind of look to it, Khalil.
Yeah.
We have the Riverine.
And
So
it
you
looks
were,
more equatorial or something like that. But it
yes,
could mean
or Asia. Could be
any
Asia.
it could mean technically any river. Rivers run all over
Island.
the world, so
Indeed. And also, you were involved in healthcare in some way. Could be a witch doctor, could be, just a healer, a shamanic healer. Could be somebody who was practicing. Was there much medicine being practiced in the Dark Ages?
there was, but it was mostly by women,
Right,
wise women of
right.
villages and things like that.
Well, these don't assign a sex, so I've noticed that thus far. The theme for you, though, and this is interesting since you were dealing with healthcare, was creativity or destructiveness, which also to me means it could involve life and death, that you were involved in creating life, maybe helping the birthing process or, end life issues as well.
You were some sort of midwife or wise woman kind of person who assisted with both ends of the life spectrum as well as everything in between.
And the final card is, guess what? You too had an accident of some sort.
Therefore, you were possibly burned as a witch.
No, no, that's not
Well,
that
that
kind
would
of
be a
death.
horrible accident.
That is
Let's
not
face it.
an accident. That is a deliberate thing. And so I think an accident is traumatic, but not in the way like a murder or a execution would be. So we are not going there, Mr. O.
Well, Khalil
Not with
thinks
this
I'm
one.
funny, apparently, though. I am.
Yes, he is. He's a Stitch. That's why I have kept him all these years. So I'm really fascinated by this, and I'm not going to read the accident again, but I do want to take a look at for you, if I can. Is Sunny sitting on my book?
Must be.
Nope, my
There it
Fenestra
is.
cards are on my book. Okay, so I'm going to look at creativity and destructiveness just briefly to see what that's about. And that is number 47. I'm almost right there. So that is the theme. And what it says here, they want to emphasize that everybody has some elements of these characteristics. Creativity can be expressed in so many ways. For people who create pottery, it depends how you resonate with this card. And so the contrary, let's see, the destructiveness. On the contrary, the smashed pots suggest a negative approach to life, constant complaint, frustration, and disapproval of the actions and thoughts of others. Always looking back to the past, not living in the present or looking forward to the future. The futility of such an ego-dominated outlook should now be clear to you. And so the creativity element is the spirit of optimism, and the destructiveness is obviously the pessimism, but also considering what your life entailed here, in dealing with healthcare issues, you really worked in both of those realms. You had to be adept in
Excuse
both
me.
of those realms and really have a handle on your feelings and your emotions and how this affected you. And maybe today in some way, that is how you are approaching your work today.
Well, I think esoterics figured out the problem and, of course, sings the praises or the non-praises of Mercury retrograde, apparently.
Yes, it's already here, trust me. So I have been feeling it completely. So I don't know. Have you found this very fascinating, Khalil? And it gives you something to think about and maybe meditate on, and see how the applications could even affect you in your life today. We're into this kind of thing of helping people through their creative parts of their lives and the destructive nature of their lives. We're trying to uplift and care for them, and I think you do a great job of that with your readings as well. So that was a past life reading for you. And so esoterics, you are back. Renosa, if you could give us a second, I would like to give esoterics a chance to get a reading in since she was ahead of you in line. And you will absolutely be right after that, I guarantee you. Celtic would equal Britain, lol. Well, how Celtic influences had spread beyond that. Am I right or wrong about that? Do you want to give me a...
Well, to some degree, some people believe the Celtics were all over the world or all
Okay,
over parts of the ancient world. I'm not the best historian on that, but they were seafarers at
that's
some
true.
point, and they weren't really a totally pure race themselves. They were probably an admixture of various peoples that they came across as well.
Okay, so you're thinking there might be a new venture that you're interested in finding out about. We're going to move these out of the way. And do you want to use one of your decks or do you want...
Yes.
Okay.
In the spirit of Halloween, I shall use my Vampire Tarot.
So let me see if
Woo-ha-ha.
I have
And
any...
Renosa has indicated that they'll be right back. So
Okay.
we will get them. Hopefully, they'll be right back after we're
Yep.
done with this reading.
Okay. A new venture. Let's see if I have anything about that.
Yes, we see you loud and clear, esoterics. We thank you again for joining us. We're having a great afternoon here. We're almost into our second hour, and it just seems like time has no meaning here. Okay, Madam Banshee, go ahead and shuffle.
Okay, I have a possible spread or something I'm adapting. What's really great about this is I've created all these 3-card spreads, and as is typical, you can't cover everything. And the more I read for people and the more types of questions they ask me, the more I see there are gaps I need to fill. So this is all good. It works, it's a win-win for all of us, I'd like to think. All right, we'll cut them again for you.
You see, you're wearing a nice piece of amber.
Me? Oh, my ring. That's the
Show
one
that
that
up
I
to the ring.
believe. That is the one that I believe Mr. O bought me.
Oh, the other
Yes.
Mr. O?
No, what other Mr. O?
For some reason, I was flashing on Lon,
Oh,
who's
Mr.
not an O
One.
at
He is
all.
not an O. He's been
Okay,
on your mind because you visited him at the graveyard.
I did. Okay,
Okay, so what I'm going to say is this first card is how you feel about this new venture or potential for a new venture. And what do we have?
the Ten of Pentacles.
Hmm. Wow. Well, I don't know esoterics if this has any roots related to family tradition or something to do with family ties, or maybe, I don't know, maybe we're looking at affecting a more global family, but there's something very positive here where there could be a lot of support surrounding you in this venture. How do you feel?
Yes, and I get the feeling too that it is freely and easily given, that there is just something about the magnitude of what you call family, whether it's blood family or the family you choose, that they are totally supportive in this realm.
Okay, and so I lost my place. Okay, how will the people that you are working with in this venture, or the people that you will be serving, feel about this?
It's the Four of Swords.
Wow. Well, I feel that that's a positive card possibly here, that people will feel that they derive some real calmness and peace from this venture, that there is something here that will uh, maybe make them heal in some ways. How do you feel?
Well, it is a card of rest, but it's also a card of serenity. And I get the feeling too that um, people will feel that this is the time where they can relax now and maybe digest things at a differing pace, and that they don't have to work at a breakneck pace in order to get things accomplished, and they can rest and renew themselves and come back as they need to.
You know, in a sense, this almost sounds like you rather than other people as well. I could, for some reason, I'm picking up
I'm
that,
getting that.
huh?
I'm getting
You're
that.
getting that too? I'm picking up that, maybe this new venture is something that you feel so good about or strongly about that it doesn't seem like work to you, that it brings a peace of mind to you in some way and some real calm and satisfaction, that this is what you're meant to do. Okay, and the final card is going to be, what will you get out of pursuing this opportunity? Well, you know, it is the Ace of Swords reversed, and I'm not going to say it's defeat because I don't feel that way about this card. What I do feel about this card is, you're going to have to go with some flow here. There are going to be some setbacks. There might be some delays. There might be some decisions you have to maybe weigh more carefully about how you go about this project. I think that that's the potential here, that the new beginning is going to be delayed. Maybe you're going to need to take some more time pulling it together.
I kind of get the feeling that this card really moves from the second card, the
Uh-oh.
Four of Swords, and that it's the idea that you more fully embrace the idea that you have nothing to prove and that you can actually take your time a little bit and not work at that breakneck pace. Because I get the feeling like there
Okay.
is this sense of it being a delay here, but it is still going to happen because it's an ace that is a beginning. It is going to happen. What's he doing over there?
Well, he was burying my cards again. I was trying to get my Lenormand cards to see if we can get a little bit deeper into what's going on here. I don't, I think that, remember, we're all tarot readers. A lot of us who are in the stream are. And remember, this is just a snapshot right now. I think what it's saying is to plan things carefully, make sure, the decisions that you make are the right ones, and take your time. Don't rush into it. And it could turn out okay, despite what, that card indicates.
Although the Tarot of the Vampires truly goes with the traditional meanings, it doesn't try to alter any of them in any significant way. It just goes with that kind of look more than anything. It's artistic design. I do get the feeling that because there's a coffin here, and that in the vampire mythos, coffin sort of kind of relates to a sense of eternity, even if it is vampiric eternity. But what I'm just going to suggest is that somehow, just like they say in the movies, nothing ever keeps Dracula down, he always comes back, is that maybe this venture proves that in a way that it's really nothing to be kept down, that even if there is this sense of a quieter serenity or a time of gathering inward, you're gonna be coming out to reassert yourself. I do feel that this is a true ace despite any delays it's showing.
And this is an interesting combination I have here as well with the Lenormand. I had gotten for you the crossing card, which just mentioned a coffin. It is not the coffin card in the Lenormand, but crossings can be crossing over, if you get my drift, and then news and letter. And
Hi, Jay.
I pulled the crossing card first, and so what I would have to say to this is that I can look at this two different ways. Something has to be finished or end before you can move on with news of this new venture. Something has to come to an end. The other element I get from this esoterics that it is possible your guides or somebody from the other side may be trying to give you a message in regards to, this venture that you're planning. I really could feel that as well. Uh-oh, I might have read his mind here. Let's see.
And no, not exactly. It's just
Okay.
that I don't know the Lenormand, so I actually am more about the symbols relating there. And I'm thinking literally what I see here is correspondence of some sort, email, mail, or otherwise, that will invite you to take a journey or invite you to do a trip, that the crossover is really a trip and there's an invitation to that. Thank you, Monster
Thank you, Monster
Hunter.
Hunter. I see our I see our backup moderator is at work. Thank you so much.
Ellis, that's actually not our first troll. We had a troll a session or two back.
Yes.
Well, we're not going to pay any attention to that.
Monster is working on it for us, and very interesting.
The apocalypse has arrived at TFT.
Thanks for catching that, Monster. We're pretty busy here, and I'm glad you have tuned in as always. I will try to be more on the ball with that. We have noted we have a little bit delay with our chat sometimes here, so you might be seeing some of these things, Monster, before we are even able to.
When you're the best, you're Monster Hunter Malik.
Okay, so
It's better than Star Wars, right?
at any rate, Esoteric, we hope that has helped you somewhat. And, check in on this question again, in a little bit. And let's see if the energies have shifted, because it is highly possible. Maybe we could do something in a future reading where we project, a timeline on this, new venture a little bit. And maybe that will help put things into perspective. Okay? So we're going to move on to Renosa.
Renosa has shown up again. Hi again.
You are next, Renosa.
Are we, did you already ask a question or do you have a question in mind? Renosa. Thank you.
No problem, Esoterics. Anytime. And so let's see. We'll wait for Renosa here. All right. Go ahead and shoot away with your question, Renosa.
We're going to do my deck again.
Also, after Renosa, if Mimi is still with us.
Does DJ's friends know his feelings for me? Do we want to do this as a yes or no?
Okay, let me look at that again. DJs are aware of his feelings for me. Yes, let's try a yes-no for that one, definitely. Let's see what we get. All right.
Remind people again that we will be doing our haiku recitations as a special video production on Halloween morning, somewhere around 9 or 10 in the morning. And that will be each of the haikus we've done for the entire month. So it's actually a couple more than 31.
Plus some bonus ones.
Yes, 31 plus.
As if you haven't had enough. But it'll be nice for you to hear them read as we would read them. And we have just had such an incredible amount of fun creating them. I can't tell you. It was just almost too much fun. So I thank our Twitter and Facebook folks for being our captive audience for this last month. And we really hope we've instilled some humor. With Mercury retrograde coming in all of this heavy energy of the season, we wanted to lighten things up a little bit. Wow, they're getting pretty creative out there, aren't they, Monster Hunter? I don't understand sometimes how some of this troll stuff works. Do people just have all these shell, YouTube pages, and then they just keep going through one after the other, and you have to keep blocking them, or what? It's pretty interesting actually, and kind of sad because there's so many more constructive things that people can be doing with the internet and social media. Oh, I see. So there's not much we can do about that, Monster Hunter?
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Jay Walker. That's my feeling exactly. On some levels, I have a feeling of empathy and sadness for them. On other levels, I don't.
So I have calculated Renosa's reading. Her
Yes.
basic question was whether or not DJ's friends are aware
Oh.
of his feelings for her. And I am getting the chance, or the reading here, that it is most likely, yes, they are aware. And I even have that there too. The final card, of course, is the Sun, which to me indicates that there's a truth being revealed, but the truth is almost burning, as it would be for a vampire. It's kind of blowing things away out there for them too. So it may be that there's a level of frustration and deception and other things going on.
Well,
Go ahead.
I just feel the answer is yes, and that, this will be revealed in some way to you. The Sun is about light, and is usually a very positive card. Now, in the Vampire Tarot, that may not be the same meaning. However, to me, it does indicate that the light will shine on this. You will become aware of what they know or don't know, and I would say fairly soon.
Not only that, but it's literally one of those things where the truth will set you free, Renosa, or will set them free. That once they realize this truth, they will probably turn on DJ. They should, if they're decent people, unlike what apparently he's doing here.
Oh, and they're telling him a bunch of garbage. Well, that's unfortunate. Let me
Well,
just
it looks
see
like
if
it could go either way then. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I would just say that one way or another, it will be revealed. And
The revelation is clear how that really will affect things.
well, and I do sense here, I believe I've just pulled two cards, and I'm going to read this give you two different ways of looking at this, Renosa. You might know what actually feels right to you here, what resonates with you. But there's the Woman card, and there is the Mountain card. So what I'd like to say is that you might feel some obstacles. You feel some real big obstacles are afoot here that you have to traverse. Climbing a mountain is not easy, but we must sometimes to make progress. We have to work our way through the obstacles. On the other hand, this obstacle could be this woman. In other words, there may be somebody, it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman, who is standing in your way of achieving your goal. She is the obstacle. So, or he. So you might want to think about that and determine what makes the most sense for you, but that's what I'm sensing here.
So this card is not necessarily Renosa or standing in for Renosa. It's
It
actually
could
somebody.
be.
It could be. Okay.
It could be somebody else in this case because it's kind of an overview. And since she was asking a question about other people, that opened the door for me to say it could be one or the other.
I see. Yeah, I'm not getting a strong impression other than the fact that I do agree with you. The mountain does represent a level of obstacle that you are feeling and encountering with this.
I have a feeling we're going to have to pay Monster Hunter a lot more for his job. Kidding. He is our son. So, at any rate, let's
Okay, and
move
Renosa's
on.
given us a little more information.
I hope that helped you, Renosa, and always keep posted with us and let us know how things are going in the future.
I'm just going to pull one final card for Renosa.
Okay, Renosa, hang on. He's got one
It's
more
allowed.
card.
The
Okay.
thought I was thinking of was basically whether or not this male person that you believe it to be is really the problem. And I'm getting the Page of Wands reversed. And I'm thinking you will have a specific information about that probably within the next week or two, like some sort of email or communication that will kind of show you that is true, that this is a not, it's not so much that they're not a trustworthy person, they're just really a clumsy person, and they're just really uh, enacting from a level of stupidity, like we've
And
been talking about.
and of course, wands are fire, and I think it's more fast moving. So he is kind of right about the timing here, being sooner than later.
Yeah, I'd say within a couple weeks or less.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So that was for
I hope it
Renosa,
goes well for you too.
and I'm wishing you the best. And Mimi, are you with us?
If Mimi's there, it's now your turn. We thank everybody for being patient today.
Yes, and thank you so much. And
You're
thank you so
welcome.
much for, everything you do and for being so gracious with us. We really do appreciate it.
Sunny the cat, who reads tarot sort of with us, says thank you too.
Jay,
Give us just one moment to
I
see
will
if
put
Mimi's.
you on the list. We're
Yeah.
going to see if Mimi is here, and if not, we might entertain taking questions from people who are still with us. So hang on.
You will certainly have time to ask another question. It just might not be for another couple minutes.
So, what else did we want to say? So, 6 to 9 p.m. on Halloween night, 3 hours of us. Feel free to not stay for the whole thing, but one of the things we'd like to do, and we'll talk to you guys who are in the chat now about it, is that we like to honor, we're going to be going to the graves the next day, and we'll probably have some wine here or whatever, some beverage that we will be toasting our relatives from beyond. And so if there's anybody that you want to have a toast to or raise a glass with us, have a glass of whatever your preferred beverage is, and share a toast with us on Halloween evening as we honor those who have left our lives and moved on.
Right, we won't be pulling out the Ouija board.
No.
But we do want to remember all of our beloved who are gone now.
Yes.
We have a number ourselves.
And today, maybe if we have a few moments later, I see that Mimi has not answered yet. So I think we will move on, Jay, if you want a question. And then if anybody else would like further clarification or to ask another question, feel free. Otherwise, I can move on to other content as well here on our end. So, Jay, what is your next question?
And don't be down on those Ouija boards. They actually are really good. Somebody reminded me that they really work in the same way that pendulums work. They just work kind of on the nervous system. So.
And I think that like anything can be used for good or evil purposes. If you open the door to the beyond, it's up to you to kind of make the parameters for that and only let light and good spirits in. That is all you will be accepting. You don't open the door just piecemeal to anything that's out there. That of course can be dangerous, like anything else, like even on the internet, the dangers on the internet. So that's, I think, important to keep in mind with things like spirit boards. I have some spirit boards that are, boards like that, but they are not Ouija. And I feel perfectly safe and comfortable using them, but I make sure I shield and I put the necessary parameters in place.
And Khalil's back too.
Hi, Khalil. Oh, all right, Khalil, absolutely.
We're going to do Jay first. So
Jay
go ahead,
first,
Jay.
and then you.
Give us your question.
Yeah, I suppose that is true. Maybe it's not a good idea to use used Ouija boards, to get one of your own for sure. That might, because they could have energies attached, and you just don't know where those Ouija boards have been and who was using it for what purposes. So yeah, I would definitely say that would be a truth for me, is to use something that has your own energy and light attached to it.
Jay wants
to
know if
okay.
we see success in his singing career.
Okay. That's very specific, and let's see what we've got. Do you want to wing this one?
Sure. I'm going to use a traditional three card one, employing a significator. So the first card covers that significator and represents how you are in this overall situation. And this says the Queen of Batons. So this is a quality of a person that is highly magnetic and highly engaging, and generally speaking, speaks many languages, including possibly the language of love. So I'm going to say that that's what you do, is through music, through singing, you have an ability to reach people emotionally. That this, although it is the wand,
What is
there was
the
a strong.
wands? It's fire. I would say passionately. And I would also say that it is a card of an artist of sorts, somebody who is, and let's face it, it's got fire energy attached to it. So right there, this shows somebody who is very confident and comfortable in the limelight.
Now, the next two cards represent different things about the question, what could be good or what could be bad. And so we see the Knave of Cups, and I'd say this is clearly the good thing, is that this is very visionary for you. This is your dream. This is a card of your dream to do this.
Is that upright?
It is upright.
Awesome. Okay.
So you will be devoted to that, and I'd say that you even have a talent to maybe write songs yourself, that there's something poetic about how you express yourself in that way. And so you, whether you know how to read or write music itself, you could certainly be a lyricist. But the negative side of that, or maybe it's negative, it isn't totally negative, is that there is a level of stagnation around you in this, and it may be that there's a sense of not exactly knowing really how to pursue that you sort of feel certain factors render you more inert in the matter, and that it's a matter of thinking about where your drive needs to push you in this regard to follow through with that.
Well,
and move towards that career.
I look at this. I look at this card a little bit differently in this sense. I feel that the Devil reversed is saying that you feel really liberated, through the art, through singing. This really liberates your soul. And, anything in life, the baggage that we all carry, the things that hold us back, so you seem to be able to let that go, when you vocalize. And I think that's beautiful. So I think this shows that, this is something that you should pursue. I think that it is a work in progress, but I also think with the Queen of Batons and the Knave of Cups, there are some very positive elements here showing success.
Right. Overall, I do feel that there's success. You just have to battle some of the situations, and maybe this could translate a little bit more into stage fright, even possibility, which anybody who speaks publicly always experiences that. I do some amount of public speaking, and I still have that little bit of jitteriness, but usually, like I always tell people, well, the first 20 seconds are the worst. Thanks again.
Okay, I am looking at the Lenormand I've drawn for you, Jay, and wow. Here, let's hold them up there. You have the broom, and you have the star. Well, the star, get that? For a performer, that's not a bad card to have. But, that's a lot of hope. And you have a lot of hope here and wishes and aspirations in this regard. And the broom is not sweeping them away, I don't feel. The broom is actually, meaning that some things might happen fast, that if you do become successful, it could just happen suddenly and with a swiftness that you didn't anticipate. So, there might be an opportunity that comes out of the blue for you that, where you could use your voice or get out there, and it could lead to something bigger. So that's sort of the sense I get from these two cards together.
Well, maybe if you were in some talent show, local or otherwise, maybe you would make a clean sweep and go right to the top and realize your dream. But the other way I could interpret that too is that it just says that the sweeping is the amount of preparation is in measurement or equivalent to what your dream is. And so, what you can do to prepare and clear away what you need to happen will be equivalent to the amount of success you can achieve. So, aim high.
Okay, so I'm glad we could help with that. And Khalil, you are next. So if you have a question, a general question, or whatever it is, feel free to let us know now. I like your deck. I do like that deck.
Yes, I was going to say we'll probably continue using this.
Oh, no. I want to use the Halloween deck next.
Oh, okay. We'll let you use the Halloween deck.
I have not brought that out.
Khalil, I hate myself for asking, but what do I need to know about Mark's feelings towards you? Okay.
Well, why not? And so I think I may have a 3-card spread for that. Let me check. I'm just going to shuffle them first and then hand them over to Mr. O.
What do you need to know?
Yeah, I may have to modify my spread just slightly.
That's a nice nuance to a question because it isn't necessarily what they may need you to know. What they may want you to know.
Okay, I want to make sure I get his question right. What do I need to know about his feelings towards me? Okay. Well, we're going to try this one. I think that this might give us the information. You dropped cards. We always have the saying, and this goes back to my aunts from many years ago, like this. I don't want to date myself, so I will not say. But they used to say, what falls to the floor comes to the door. So what do you have?
The Lovers.
Whoa.
And the reversed 3 of Wands, or in this deck, the 3 of Imps. The 3 of Wands. Does that suggest that maybe there's a little bit more of a delay?
Well, there's something that is under the surface, maybe not
Okay,
that apparent at this time. So maybe there's things you need to know, but that's not very clear yet. And it seems to have something to do.
Maybe they're not able to express themselves just yet, but there is a feeling there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let me just move forward with this because what we're going to do, the 3 cards are attitude, your attitude towards your partner, what your partner's attitude towards you. So in other words, what you need to know about your partner and what they're feeling towards you and where things are headed. So we're going to try this 3-card spread to see what we get. And of course, I will toss a couple Lenormand after as well.
Okay, do I cut?
Absolutely. I'll let you.
And thank you, Sunny, for gracing us
again
with that big old tail.
Okay.
No, I got that, Khalil.
Okay. Well, I know I said partner, but let's say prospective in that case. So basically right now your feelings are the 6 of Pumpkins. And that is Pentacles in this deck. And the 6 of Pumpkins is...
The 6 of Pentacles.
Yes, I know.
So there's a sense of service and devotion on a certain level. There's a sense of wanting to be helpful, maybe financially, but maybe certainly on some feelings of depth and physicality that maybe you just feel this is a person you want to give of yourself to them.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is this is somebody who you feel, you'd love to give your heart to, basically. You have strong feelings that this makes sense for you right now at this time, on not just a practical level, but deep inside as well. And the next card is partner's attitude towards your perspective. Whoa.
And this is the perspective.
Yes,
right.
And that is the Knight of... Oh, okay, the Knight
Swords.
of, the Knight of Air, Swords. Wow.
I'll go first. This is a person that probably has the ability to just, once they've decided to, just rush right in. They're a fast mover. It doesn't necessarily mean they're insincere. I don't see anything here that's insincere. I do feel there's something here It is kind of pretty deck, isn't it?
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
LS. Finestra Tarot.
I
Oh,
No,
no,
it's
the
the Halloween
Halloween
tarot.
Tarot. Sorry.
I think this is a person who really is ready to move into something for sure. And maybe that's you.
Well, this is that person's feelings towards Khalil. So I wonder, it's possible here they have not expressed this yet, but there is this possibility this person has feelings of, yes, I would just like to rush in and start something, but they're maybe just a little bit uncertain.
They're not hit and run. They're not like, oh, I'm moving in and now I'm going to move away. I just think they just move fast to begin with. What you got?
Well, where things are headed, the Six of Imps, which is the Six of Fire reversed, which is the Six of
Wands.
Wands reversed, is that I still feel that, that I don't know, I don't want to say it in these terms, but maybe this in the end will not feel like what you expected when, in the beginning, how you felt about them in the beginning. If something were to happen where things are headed, may not be in the direction that you want, I guess is what I'm trying to say. How do you feel about that?
What is the position again?
It's where things are headed.
Well, it sounds to me like there is some equilibrium to be mastered here. I get the feeling like it could be that maybe it's not gonna be a permanent thing, like it might just be something that would be transitory. Like maybe there is something that's more on the level of attraction than solidarity underneath. I can't really say that I see that for sure. It's the kind of thing that like people change their ideas once
That is true.
they. What are you eating? Oh God,
But oh, is that my cards?
I
Hey, you
don't think
cannot
it is.
don't eat my reincarnation cards. Uh, basically, I don't want to get distracted. Basically, Khalil, I think that he hit it on the money with me is that as strong as your feelings are at this time, and that this person might respond, that in the end, this might not be something that has the sense of being a lasting thing for you. I won't call it a mistake because are there any mistakes? We learn from our mistakes. So are there any mistakes? No. So I would say that this might be a detour, that may be pleasant for a time, but it will not be something that will withstand the test of time. Does that make sense to you?
No, they're not eating the rune leaves again. They may be licking the reincarnation card, so I'm not really sure. It seems like they're into something.
I moved the rune leaves today because, well, because we're now getting into the heart of Halloween, and so that's why I did my Halloween oracle in the beginning instead.
This cat is something else.
Yes, I tell you.
He has cost us too much money.
He
amongst
lately,
other
it's
things.
not enough that he sits here through our readings anymore. He has to literally hog the attention. Like, for example, I was trying to shuffle one time in the last live stream. He literally pushed my arms off the table so I could not shuffle. It's kind of like, no, you're going to pay attention to me. This is my space. See, he's already coming again close to me as I'm shuffling here.
You son man, you.
Yes, Monster Hunter knows full well how silly our cats can be and how devoted they seem to be to us. They really are. We love them to death.
The
All right,
unofficial
Khalil,
mascot.
I'm going to throw a couple of Lenormand for you very briefly. And I would say this. You have the garden or park card with the ship card. And so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking in terms of social gatherings. I'm thinking of this in terms of maybe changes in your social circle, something that may happen for you from your social network. It may not involve this person at all. It may be actually somebody else, is what I'm sensing here. The ship is definitely indicative of changes, something from a distance. Maybe it's someplace you'll have to travel to as
Are
well.
you planning on going on a cruise over the holidays or anything like that? Are you invited or going to take a little cruise on a ship somehow? I don't know if it's a big cruise or just a little cruise, but I'm wondering about that. I sort of get a feeling there.
Khalil, I'd love to get him to shuffle. That would help my arthritis.
I do feel like there's just some sort of social venture and that it's going to be a lot of fun, that it could represent. Oh, you're moving to another country.
Oh, awesome. And is it overseas? Awesome. I think either way, that is kind of indicative of a move such as that. That's very interesting. Well, I think that's going to open up a
Good
whole
luck
new
with
world
that.
for you. And obviously, your whole social network and social situations will undergo major transformation and change. And at least for now, it seems like it's positive. Oh, awesome. Switzerland. One of the countries that I thought, why can't I move to Switzerland someday? I literally have thought that. There's a few places like that. That is one. Iceland's another.
I suck with geography, but I'm still thinking you're going across a body of water, or at least it is. Maybe that's not the way you're going to go. So you can tell me if that's. Yes, good luck. Totally. Good luck.
Absolutely. I think that's fantastic, and changes like that are good, especially when they are changes you make. You consciously make. Sometimes we have to move because of our jobs or because of certain situations, and it can present a hardship. But this, as long as you're making that change, and it sounds like it's good, so I think more power to you, Khalil, and wish you the best. And okay, did we have anybody else who wants a reading at this
Somebody
time?
showed up. Edric.
Oh, Edric?
Edric
I
124
do
showed
not.
up right near
Oh, I
the
see
last
that.
several minutes. So I don't know if they're here for a reading. Is there anyone else on your list?
I don't see anybody else. So, Edric, if you are here and you'd like a free reading, we are here and available right now.
Thank you, Khalil, and you're welcome.
You're so welcome, Khalil. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for what you share on Twitter. I mean, it's really, some of your readings have given me a lot
Awesome
to think
stuff.
about. I
Your
read some of them to him.
your work is beautiful. I just, you give us something to aspire to. This is something we want to be someday.
And I know you mentioned something, Khalil. If I could just, oh, there you are, Edric. Okay. While you're writing your question for us, please let us know what you want to know. If it's a
You're
general
very
reading,
welcome.
can I? Oh, got general reading. Absolutely. We will do that right now for you. All right. Do you want to use your deck for that? I think you wanted to bring your deck out next.
This one again?
Whichever you wanted to use.
Okay, well, I was going to use it. Okay, so we're going to do a general reading. Should I do the body, mind, spirit?
If you want. And then a focus card.
And then a focus card. So we're going to do a body, mind, spirit, 3 cards. One is going to cover your body. One is going to cover your mind, and one is going to cover your spirit. And
we'll see if things come up in that reading in regards to particular issues in your life, whether they relate to romance, career, finances. Some of these things pop up where they pop up. And I also will add 2 Lenormand cards at the end to see how that will play into the focus for you in the next 3 months. We'll say this is about a 3-month reading, I would say.
yeah, for the next 2 to 3 months.
Okay. And you're welcome again, Khalil.
Cut them.
Oh, what's that there?
The significant.
Oh, the significator. I forgot your deck has that. Do you want me to just pick them up?
Sure.
All right. I'll let you go for it.
Alrighty. First card represents the body, the Wheel of Fortune.
Ooh. things they are changing. I don't know if you're instituting some changes right now in yourself, whether it's with your body, maybe some new exercise regime, dietary program, something to help you out, or maybe you're recognizing the need for that. The Wheel of Fortune also indicates that there is, some luck and timing involved in this, like for example, this is probably the right time to do something like that, to look after your physical self more.
And it may be that maybe you've been lucky in finding out that you might have thought you had something that was worse, and now you found out you don't. You might have lucked out in a certain regard to a body health situation. This is the mind. Your mind.
Are you in school right now, possibly?
And I don't exactly see that because it's the
It
night.
is true, it is the night.
But I do
sometimes. Go
feel
ahead.
that there's something here about steadfastness and sort of methodical nature here, and that in your mind you find yourself to be logical, and that you may be facing really daunting kind of questions about how you apply yourself towards your financial ends. Like you may have to make some decisions about how you're plotting your financial course, how you're investing, or how you're moving around in your career, or things like that.
Right. And
Okay, and Banshee, Edrix does say that they're in school.
well, I sense that. I don't know why, because he's right. The Page of Pentacles is more the student card, but I always sense with the Knight is seeking something too, and sometimes I get the impression that it is, higher knowledge or learning that the Knight is after. So also this could indicate somebody who is in a career is seeking more training or, advancement in some way, because the Knights are rushing headlong into something. So I do sense this is a positive card for you as far as your education and studies goes. It does show that you are moving forward, and hopefully that's about, the only way to go is forward and not backwards in our studies. So keep on keeping on, because I think you are on the right track.
In general, I get the feeling like you're not the kind of person that needs to move ahead quickly. You just need to move ahead assuredly. And so you're willing to take your time to get where you need to go.
Mm-hmm. And that's spirit?
And in the spirit, though, maybe a different matter altogether, that maybe you're quickly moving into new realms here, and that maybe from a spiritual point of view,
And which card is that?
it's the Eight of
Yes, I
Wands.
announce it. Yep.
The Eight of Wands. There's a lot of energy here. You're restless. You're moving towards a mark. It may be that you're being exposed to some new ideas and you want to explore them all.
Well, a cautionary tale, I think this card indicates definitely is interesting with a student, because we know how busy students can be. Many times you're working jobs to help pay for your education. Time is short. You got to fit in time to study. You may have family concerns that you are taking care of. So you have a lot of irons in the fire right now. And just be aware, try not to burn out. Try to focus your energies as best you can. But I would say this card shows that you do have a lot of energy to burn, and you seem to know where to direct it when you have to.
Right. It is definitely moving towards a mark. And the main quality, though, is basically speed.
And do you want to draw a focus card?
Yes.
And I'll draw the Lenormand.
Okay.
It's a wand card. Oh, it's
The
yeah,
Seven of Wands.
7 of Wands. Okay, all right.
So the focus is mostly retaining what you have through the Seven of Wands, and being a sense of expectation of what your struggles are, or what your obstacles are, what your challenges are. Challenges is a word that works really good here. That you do feel like you're pretty aware of everything that's going to happen. You kind of have a plan. You have a plan.
I also would add to that card. Oh, you want to come?
That
okay, go
kind of
ahead.
goes with the idea of the Knight of Coins, because this is a card of a person who plans. It's methodical. Even if there is a lot of energy being devoted on your spiritual level. The overall focus, though, is really being prepared.
The Seven of Wands card to me, too, in the traditional rider deck shows a man standing above the wands that are below him. In other words, protecting his turf. Now, I don't look at it that way in this particular reading, but what I would say to you is, you're holding your own, you're holding your ground, and you're going to continue to do so. In other words, you're kind of above, the fray below you, meaning that, you're able to stay ahead. Your grades are going to be okay. I think that this is a very positive sign for the upcoming 3 months, is how to stay ahead of things that you need to stay ahead of. And then, of course, you have that Eight of Wands energy working for you as well. And so right now, there's a lot of fire in that reading, am I right?
Yeah, there really is.
So you do have a lot of fire. Well, yep, you have a lot of fire energy. 2 cards dominate there with that. And I'm going to draw a couple of Lenormand cards. Well, wow, this soul can be read a number of different ways here. I do have the clouds, and the clouds can be a little difficult card. And then I also have the lilies. And the lilies are an interesting, faceted card to me. I'm still wrapping my head around some of the Lenormand meanings myself, as I've only taken up their study in the last couple years. But I will say that the lilies card can be about sexuality and passion, and the clouds are a bit of depression or somberness or sorrow. So I don't know, if maybe your studies and some of the other things you are doing are influencing your relationships or lack in some way, and that's causing you some depression or some sorrow or sadness. So you maybe have to work on some balance between your interpersonal life and, your studies. The other thing I would suggest to you is that, if you are a person who has maybe had some issues with depression, that have been with you for a while, because the lilies sometimes are a card indicating time, longevity, like maybe you've been dealing with this for a while. Know that, you need to be kind to yourself, and you need to take care of those needs as well. So whichever of these two resonates with you, and I'm going to hear what Mr. Oberon's thoughts are on this.
Well, first of all, I wanted to say that, of course, with the fire sign,
Oh.
you are transformative. That your energies are mainly transformative, and that once you decide what you want, you apply yourself to those in hopes of basically changing your situations. Now, with the cloud and the lily, I get the feeling like there's a sense of sadness happening.
Or confusion.
Maybe it's confusion. I'm going to just go with my own symbolic thing there, too.
Yeah.
And that it may be that you're wondering about somebody who is only recently out of the picture, and that maybe you're thinking they might be able to still come back.
The clouds. Let's think of what clouds are. It kind of obscures the sun, it obscures things. And so that's why it can also be confusion, depression, things of that nature, things that, you're not seeing clearly, things that you need to see. Or there is some sorrows, there is some, gray days. That's also indicated by the clouds. And we all have those, we do.
Well, I think mostly you advantage yourself when you have a plan and when you have a vision. And I think that, like I said, your fire energy is what you need to recall and pull up, because that's the part of you that is transforming. And a lot of other people don't necessarily have that. So, of course, it does mean, too, that you can transform in different directions. So you just want to really focus on what you should do.
And what I always tell people is to, if you are depressed, and hey, we all deal with times of darkness, we do, and is to try to focus yourself on the things that bring you joy and pleasure. If you find yourself getting into that funk, I'm not saying to neglect it, honor it, for what it is, but also look at the good things that are around you in life, and do things that are pleasurable and bring you joy and remind you, of the happiness and the harmony that is in life. And also surround yourself with people that uplift you. You know, oftentimes, whether it's on the internet or in our social circles, we run into a lot of people that can bring us down. And so I'd say, you know, make some dates and get together with people who really uplift your spirits in some way, that you do fun things with, so that, you know, if the pressures of school or other things are getting to you, you have some outlet for that. And I hope this helps you. You know, we are not therapists. We are not, you know, we are only tarot readers. And we try to give some advice from our life experiences. And we hope we're able to guide you in some way.
Thank you.
Okay, I hope that has helped you. And let's see, we're at 3:45. And if we don't have any readings, perhaps it is time to do our reading for the week ahead.
Very good.
And that would be yours today.
You're welcome, Edric. Okay. So we're going to do our reading for the entire audience and whoever for the week, right?
Yes,
it's for the week ahead.
And actually, it's very similar to the one you did for Edric.
It is the one.
Yeah, it is the one. But this is now for everybody, the influences in these areas for the week ahead.
So we pulled a focus card in the beginning of the reading. We're now going to do this reading, which is a body, mind, spirit reading with the occasional fourth card as a focus card. And I'm going to once again use the Vampire Tarot.
And while I am shuffling, perhaps you want to talk about our next live stream again as a reminder of all the things we're doing.
Right.
And our Halloween activities.
Our next live stream will be next Thursday. We're normally here at 7, but because it's Halloween, we're going to start off a whole hour early so that you get 3 hours of TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with us, Oberon and Banshee, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Thursday night, Halloween. And of course, earlier in the day, we're going to originate our special Halloween haiku, which we will be reading as a dramatic recitation of all of those Halloween haikus we've done all month long. That'll probably be in the morning. Later on, after our live stream, we are actually going to show my original tarot meditation for Halloween. It will mostly be about the appropriate tarot cards at this time of year, and that's probably going to be around 11 o'clock. We will have some fun during the Halloween show.
Absolutely. And some serious stuff. We will raise a glass to our departed loved ones, and we will welcome you to share names of people you would like to remember and honor that day. And we will also, we may have a little cauldron here, which we will pull some cards out for people that may have a message for you. You know how I have my rune leaves? Well, this will be a little bit different. And we will have also the past life cards again. We could do past life readings. And don't forget, you can ask this again because we have been here before, perhaps many times.
Yes, I've had past life regressions by people who claim to do that. And I've had a past life regression that has indicated that I've been on the American continent before. My last lifetime was probably in the early 1700s. And I don't believe I've had any lifetimes since then.
That you know of.
Do you want me to put them back together?
Yeah, you can go ahead this time. I shuffled them pretty good.
Alrighty, so this is our reading for the week ahead. So the first reading is the body. And we see the Eight of Swords reversed. And that tells me, Eight of Swords reversed, that for this next week, some of us are going to be maybe feeling some changes with our body. In this area, this hemisphere, we're adjusting to cooling weather. So it may be something like that. Some people may find there are some limitations are better now or worse depending on your own status. I know people who can't operate in the summertime, but then in the wintertime or the fall time, they're more operable. So it could be something like that.
So this is the body. I would say with the Eight of Swords reversed too is that if you have been feeling under the weather, feeling a little bit down, you may be a little bit uncertain about the treatment plans that have been prescribed to you if you've been seeking some medical advice or care. So, if you feel the need to get a second opinion, please do so because it could indicate, you're still kind of you're moving in the right direction, maybe, or you're making a move, but is it the right moves for you? You might want to question that.
Right. If it is anything serious, please do seek medical or professional
Right.
assistance. All right. The second card is the mind of our audience, what we are going through mentally over this next week. And that is the King of Wands reversed. And I think some of us are going to be a little bit concerned, maybe, about things going wrong on in our career, our workplace, our endeavors that are, forward from us, the things we do in the world. Specifically, I get the feeling that there's a sense that there's no appreciation for some of the things you try to do, whatever your talents are or whatever your tasks are. You're getting the feeling like maybe you're going to be a little bit influenced by others who don't see your value.
Well, and I also sense with this card that this could indicate that maybe you've got to watch yourself this week. That's a little bit of fire energy there. Don't be too aggressive in what you say and do. Try not to say things that you might regret later. Acting rashly because it is kind of a fire energy. You might be taken the wrong way.
And then the final card is the Spirit. This is what we are feeling spiritually this next week in our audience. And it's another court card. It's the Queen of Cups reversed. And this one does feel too... Excuse me, a little bit of dry throat. Let me grab some water here. And of course, I'm just thinking too that we are in the countdown to Mercury retrograde.
Oh, yes, we are.
And I'm feeling that this card represents people who are having a little bit of a problem in their emotional temperament. So although it is the card of the spirituality, what we're feeling here, thank you, SS. I think what we're feeling though, it's kind of like maybe our emotions are betraying us in some way, that we're feeling a little bit like we're not trusting ourselves, what we feel. Like maybe there's a little sense that our intuition is not working for us and that we're feeling doubtful.
There you go. I was thinking in terms of, yes, think about that King of Wands that we just had here and what I spoke about as far as watching what you say goes. You might be going with a gut level reaction, something that you feel is going on, but maybe that's going to betray you in some way, and you might speak things that you should not. So you might want to hold your cards close to your chest, and if you're feeling something about someone or a particular situation, be it at work or whatever, don't express it yet. Let it germinate for another week or so until you really can get a better handle as to what's going on. Because Mercury retrograde can cause those things to happen. A lot of misunderstandings, miscommunications. We mix up the signals we're getting from each other. So I would be very, very cautious. This retrograde's going to be a pretty heady one, I have a feeling.
Yeah, it is definitely a time for caution. So hopefully with this information, at least for the next week or so, we're going to kind of get through that. And that's what we have for my weekly reading.
I am
the
going
body,
to give a
mind, spirit. Yes, go right ahead. We'll have
Lenormand. I will throw a couple Lenormand also for us. See if it focuses on anything in particular. And Smiling Soul, I do see your back. Is there any particular... Would you like a reading while you're here? We do have the time now.
Yeah, you'll probably be our last one. And we did get through everybody else, I'm pretty sure, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Oh.
What you got?
Well, this is very interesting. I got the key first, and then I've got the decision card. It's the pathway card. And it seems like you might be called upon to make a decision this week, which again is kind of scary during the Mercury retrograde. Hopefully, it's not a life altering decision of any sort because, the retrograde is a difficult time. I would say if it's a decision that you can put off a while, it may be for the best, but you may be confronted with having to make a decision this week, and the decision you make is going to be very key to where things go in your life from here. That's pretty vague, I know, but that's what I got right now.
I'm getting the overall sense that something will fall into place, but it may take a little bit of this time of this week to do that. But that at some point somebody does provide the direction, and then it's really a matter of understanding that it probably was there, but you just didn't quite think of it in that regard, that maybe it was something that was just eluding you. Once again, going back to the idea of having doubt over this next week.
And that's it for that. And I want to get right to Smiling Soul because you know what, Smiling Soul? I already, because we've been communicating, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a psychic to figure out what question you might have wanted to ask. And I've already looked up a 3-card spread for you. And so she wants it focused on what's going on with her health. And let's see what we can pick up. I'm going to let Oberon shuffle my Halloween deck while I get my spread and explain what we're going to do. Because I believe everything is intrinsically tied together, we'll do this reading, which is the state of your physical health at this time, the state of your emotional health, and the state of your spiritual health, and where things are headed. So let's take a look at this in depth because oftentimes, our emotional, our spiritual, and our physical health, they're all tied together. Okay, he told me I should pick the middle pile first, the cat, but I always do anyway. All right, so the first card is about your physical health at this time. And it's almost as if it is showing exactly, I think, how you're feeling about things. You really want knowledge and information, and it seems very obscured at this time. You're not sure what's going on, and I do sense by the Sun card being reversed here that your vitality is very low at this time. You are feeling kind of weakened and not yourself.
What is the position?
Physical health.
Well, I don't like this card at all. I do feel that the Sun reverse does indicate that there are some health problems here. So I strongly advise you to pay attention to what's going on, to listen to your doctors or whoever's giving you health
Your
advice.
providers.
But I do have a feeling there is something going on there and you need to take care.
And you need to keep searching for answers. Okay, in the...
Yeah, because I don't think it's immediately discernible. It's not a mystery thing, but it's something that will take some work to get to the bottom of.
Your mental health right now is the Knight of Ghosts, which is actually the Knight of Cups, and it is upright. And did I say it was mental? Let me take a look at that again just to be sure I want to get this right. No, this is your emotional health right now. And ironically enough, it is a cup card. And it does seem to me that your emotions are in flux right now, not necessarily in a bad way, but I think that this is tantamount to your recovery and your healing is to find and seek balance in your emotional well-being as well at this time.
I can't disagree with that anymore too. I get the feeling that to some degree you are possibly thinking that sometimes other people affect your health because of either emotional interactions with them, and you need to just kind of buck up a little bit. You need to resolve to be a little bit stronger and not let other people's emotions or other people's influence on your emotions affect you. Other people will be drawn to you, but maybe not necessarily for the reasons you like. So you just need to kind of be strong. And remember, it's you. It's not them. It's really not what other people think. It's always what you think.
Absolutely. And then the final card in this one is, well, it's not the final, but it's the state of your spiritual health, because we are going to draw one more card for you. Well, this is a nice card. It's the Queen of Fire. So, and it's upright. So you're spiritually speaking, you are strong. You are vital. There's a lot of fire within you, and this serves you well. Except I caution you not to burn the candle on both ends. Keep that fire in its proper place a little bit. Sometimes we have to balance it out a little bit with some water and emotional energy as well. So, but this does tell me that there is a vitality here. You might be able to tap into your spiritual essence to help heal you.
I feel that too. But I'm also going to go out on a limb, as I am wont to do on occasion. I'll say there's somebody here who maybe there's a connection between you and somebody. It may be an emotional connection. It may be um, both sides, the emotional connection. It may be more one side or the other. But I don't feel this connection is the best one for you. I sort of feel like this one is dragging you down a little bit. So there may be somebody who either on your side of it or their side of it, you feel like there's a need there, but it's not really exactly like that. It may be that this person really is not good for you spiritually. So that's kind of a strong statement to say that, but I get the feeling like there's somebody who's not good for you spiritually, who maybe you are actually thinking you do need to work your way around that.
And we are nearing the end of our broadcast, but we're going to pull one more card in the Lenormand cards for Smiling Soul, and then we'll make some final announcements. And okay. This is some deep stuff, Smiling Soul.
This is really deep.
Mm-hmm.
You are definitely going through a hard time, and you may be going through a hard time for a little bit longer. You have to totally think though about who really is there for you and who isn't. And there may be that you're looking for things that aren't there right now, but there are things that are there. I know it sounds really crazy, right?
I believe there is help for you out there, but sometimes we are so wrapped up in what is going on, to what is happening to us financially and physically, that we do not recognize the help and the assistance that is out there. So seek help, seek the assistance. It is there for you, and it can help you heal. And I'm going to draw a couple of Lenormand cards and see what else we get. And that was the Five of Pentacles. I don't know if we had said that or not. And I'm going to see what the Lenormand can add to this. And Smiling Soul, we are here with you in spirit, and we will be sending healing energy your way. And we ask our audience too. Smiling Soul has said she would be appreciative of that. I had asked her previously. And let me grab one from the top. Well, I think this is a really important message here for you. This is the fish and the garden or park. And basically, I think a lot of good energy is going to flow through you from, connections that you make either through social media, social gatherings. I think it's more you getting out and being in the world somehow in some way where you can be in groups of people that can help you. This could also be a support group of sorts. And I sense that because the fish are water and flow, and to let yourself go and be with like-minded others who may be going through some of the crises that you too are going through. So if there is such a thing for you, and there are some support groups available that you should seek out, then do so. Maybe some people who, once you find out and get a handle on what the physical problems are or whatever the problems are, that you can talk to these people and draw some energy in and some healing from that.
I'm going out on a limb again, but I get the feeling like there's something from your past, a support group or situation with friends that was helpful to you. And I'm thinking you need to remember that and possibly seek that out. There's somebody from the past that you're going towards or that you will be going towards, that you are homing in on. Maybe it's somebody from your home life, maybe it's somebody from your family. They are there for you. I get the feeling you just have to remember that and find your way back to them.
I feel too, if I look at this as a health related thing, Smiling Soul, the fish is about water and flow. And so I think about, the necessity of water in your body and to make sure you are hydrating properly. I got that reminder recently from somebody who posted on Twitter. And also, this could indicate blood, as well, the flow of blood through your body, and to make sure that, everything is as it should be there as well. So if this gives you any clues as to things that you should be looking for on the health level, I think that might be represented here.
Well, you are welcome, and we are out of time.
We are out of time, and we have been so glad to spend this time constructively with you, barring the few trolls that visited.
That was kind of interesting.
And we would like to thank Monster Hunter for being our backup moderator. We definitely needed him today. My trigger finger was not fast enough, but his certainly was. And also for all the people that I've met on Twitter who have joined us today as well. Wow, I really appreciate your coming. And, I hopefully can reciprocate, on your shows as well. And I also recommend to others to seek out the other readers out there as well. We aren't the only game in town. And we are here to make, hopefully a
Khalil,
difference
you're really
in your
awesome
lives.
yourself. Thank you.
Oh, you're still with us as well. Well, thank you so much, Khalil. And we're grateful and we're glad you enjoyed it. And we plan on keeping this going. And
Check us
we're
out
looking
on
to the
Thursday night,
future.
Halloween night.
Absolutely. And if you can't make it Halloween, we'll have everything videoed on YouTube. So, take a look at it at your leisure. And we hope you have a good week ahead. And we will see you on Thursday. Take care, everybody.